family, one people, one planet, one love, one family, one people, one planet, one love, one family. Good morning and welcome to a very special SoulCall Sunday. My name is Lisa Ferraro. I'm the founder and spiritual director of SoulCall Global, and we welcome you with a happy Easter celebration, and also SoulCall's anniversary month. April is our 1 year anniversary. Can you even believe it? It's kind of hard to believe that. But here we are bursting forth as our unique expression of spring, of life. And I wanted to offer this definition of Easter. Many of you know that Bede used the word Easter to honor a goddess. And this was from back in the goddess of spring in the 7th century. So it actually predates the Christian tradition of Jesus resurrecting. And today our idea of resurrecting is resurrecting remembrance of the soul and that vital force that is within each one of us, just like we have that vital force of spring bursting through all around. It's contagious. I'm very excited today. There's just so much beautiful energy happening on the planet as you, as me, as spring, as so many different things. But the Easter word actually came from Old England, a pre-Christian goddess whose name was Yoster, and it celebrated the beginning of spring. So the only reference to this goddess that comes through writings right now is from Bede, who was a British monk in the late 7th, early 8th century. So our idea of celebrating Easter is that resurrection of remembrance, just as spring reminds us of the beauty and the bounty of nature that is inherent and latent sometimes. Sometimes we don't see it, but it's in there. And the experience of life helps us to bring that forth in different ways. Sometimes the challenges present help us to reach back to a greater expression of ourselves. So we welcome you. And this morning, as every Sunday, we're going to invite a Qigong master to come in and teach us how to put a simple practice together with nature, with the light around us, within us, that congruence, that divine alignment that brings us into full participation of all that we can experience only as human beings on the planet Earth. It's a divine experience, and one that we can elevate with the practices we, do, I'll say, like with a discipline of really wanting to get better, just like playing an instrument or practicing a sport or something you really want to get better, more proficient with. Give it the time of the practice. So we share these with you, but we all know that is in the practice makes progress. So let's participate with this beautiful Qigong practice.
Today we are in a seated healing posture. Please sit on the edge of the chair. We are going to be moving from left to right, opening the spine. The legs should be at a 90-degree angle at this position. Now please look forward from inside the mind's home out through yin tongue to merge with the stars and further to infinite space. From there, gather all the healing chi, love, wisdom, and pull it back through the stars, through yin tongue to the center of the head, and very gently close the eyes. Now we can relax from tip to toe. We become the space in between, therefore a part of all things, merging us together, heart to heart, mind to mind. Allow the hands to be gently pulled upward in front of the chest, palms facing inward, to a comfortable place. And please move the mind's consciousness down in between the kidneys, to the back to open the spine. Turn gently to the left and back to the front, to the right and back to the front. Continue turning slowly, gently. The hands holding this ball of chi, completely surrounding us, one arm's length, front, above the head, back, below the feet, and both sides. This huge ball of chi circling, spiraling inside to the edge of our chi arms, completely surrounding us, very safe, comfortable. In this chi field, place any fears, disharmony, emotions, everything place inside this chi field. Continue circling, spiraling, chi uniting, transforming. From left to right. Very safe, very relaxed. Relax. Then slowly move back to the front and stop. Chi continues circling, spiraling within our chi field, inside and out, uniting, transforming. Then bring this huge chi field inside, placing the centers of the palms on top of the navel. Relax the hands to the lap. Slowly open the eyes, smiling from the inside out.
Thank you, Deborah Weisenberger-Lippitz, for that beautiful Qigong practice. It was just so relaxing. It was just twinkly like spring. So just taking the beauty of that moment in. And exhale. Recognizing and remembering that we are all connected through the invisible thread of love, the invisible vibration of the energy of that love, this love, all light, all beauty we already possess. There's nothing to acquire. It's to remember. Putting spiritual practices, sacred practices that become secular. May they become part of your everyday life, not just a time for this or a time for that. All life is the practice of remembering our connection, that which cannot be seen but can be experienced with the heart, the beauty of life, the resonant field of beauty. This is it. Rumi says, this is heaven come down to earth. It doesn't get any better than this. And taking into your heart's mind all those who are in need of prayer at this moment, we offer that up. Being still, try to be as still as you can as you listen to this beautiful song, Heart Stop Hunting. And the words are, heart stop hunting, step into this net, meaning allow yourself to be caught by the infinite. What if we tried to not run away from it, Just turn and let the infinite catch you. You know how when you were a little kid, you might have had that favorite aunt, uncle, parent, older sibling, somebody that you loved playing chase with because you liked being caught by them. My grandmother was the one, because when she caught me, all I felt was this just arms around me and love. It was just fun to be caught by my grandmother when she'd be up for playing. Allow yourself to be caught by the infinite. Enjoy.
Rest your cheek on this drunken cheek. Let me forget the war and cruelty inside myself. You have opened the 7 doors of heaven. Now lay your hand upon my tightened heart. How many times do I have to hear? Heart, stop hunting and step into this net. I hold these silver coins in my hand. Pour me your wine of golden light. All that's left now to give is this illusion myself. Won't you give me at least a nickname that's real? How many times do I have to hear? Heart, stop hunting and step into this net. Only you can restore what you have broken. Held my broken head with your everlasting love. Heart, stop hunting and step into this net. Heart, stop hunting and step into this net. How many times do I have to hear? Heart, stop hunting and step into this net.
You, but oh my God. I am happy to say that that got me right in the heart. As it's Natalia Zukerman, thank you for that beautiful video. And of course, it's the music of Lisa and Erika doing a, my beloved Erika Luckett, who is the co-founder along with, she's the co-visionary and founder of this idea of SoulCall Global. And next week, we are going to hear from Erika. She's going to give us a snippet of a talk she did some years ago, just so those of you who've never had the opportunity to meet Erika Luckett can get a sense of the energy she brings to everything she does, continues to do in a transcendent state with us. But wow, that one just got me. And it's so gentle, the invitation, isn't it? Stop hunting it's not out there, which is the resurrection of remembrance. We're going to talk about what we're looking for. It's in here. It's not out there. Our senses allow us to experience the beauty of being in human form. In the body, we could find, the materializations of the infinite, beautiful life force, intelligence in form. That's what the human experience is here to engage us with. But the essence of where it comes forth from is within, and bringing it forth from within. So I want to invite my co-founder and co-creators of SoulCall, beautiful Reverend Christie Hardwick, joining us from Chicago, my kind of town. Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for being here for the celebration.
Absolutely. So more than a year ago, I got this invitation from this amazing light that I'm looking at across this screen, across this ether. And it was, we're going to launch this thing that's been in my heart and Etika's heart for such a long time. And it's been becoming and becoming and becoming in different forms. And let's play together and do this thing we're calling SoulCall. And here we are a year later. And what a blast, what a ride. So I'm so happy to have been invited and to be part of this auspicious group of people. Those of you who are listening, those of you who've been taking classes, the wonderful, amazing Natalia Zukerman, who have had just such a privilege to work with and watch work. It's just more than I can say, overflowing with gratitude.
Yeah.
Yes, overflowing with gratitude. Yeah. So I wanted to just be here for this auspicious moment because I'm thinking about spring as an auspicious moment. It's one of those things where I remember reading a line from Emerson. He said, nature is never surprised in undress. And I thought about it. I thought, what does he mean by that? Never surprised by undress. We think sometimes that winter is this kind of undressed moment of nature, right? The trees are bare of their leaves. There's not a lot growing. But there is something there, and there's so much to see if we have the eyes to see it. So as spring is just beginning, I'm starting to notice things. Excuse me. That song choked me up as well. So I'm like, let's see if I can get my breath here. I'm beginning to notice things. We are here in Chicago, my beautiful wife and I, because it's her birthday weekend. And then we have a granddaughter who has a birthday tomorrow and a grandson who has a birthday today. And so it's a time of birth and a time of emergence. And one of the things that I remember so much about one of our granddaughters is that every time she sees us, she says, will you be here tomorrow? I'll see you tomorrow. And then we'll say, well, actually, we'll be back in November, something like that. And she'll say, well, I'll see you tomorrow. So for her, everything is tomorrow. Everything is in the present now. The very next time that I see you, it will be tomorrow for us. And it's such a beautiful thought. What if, as the child, we stayed in the present moment awareness, that everything is emerging as tomorrow? It is now spring. The flowers are budding. It's the beginning of something new. And we can say, I'll see you tomorrow when it comes to the summer. And I'll see you tomorrow when it comes to the fall. And I'll see you tomorrow when it comes to the winter. And I'll see you tomorrow when it's spring again. I love this idea of there being an endless amount of present moment nows that become tomorrow. And we stay right where we are. So what I learned from being surrounded by grandchildren is this idea that everything is happening right now. And that's the only time that matters to them. Right now. Are you here? Yes. Will you be here tomorrow? I'm going to call that you're going to be here tomorrow, because in my heart, you are always present and always here. This moment of celebration is something that was thought of so many years ago and imagined. It was a seed that was planted, and it was growing roots and roots and roots deep into the soil. And we couldn't see SoulCall visibly for a long time, but it was always there. What Etika and Lisa planted in their hearts and in the hearts of others, and the music that they made and the vision that they had was always present, but we just couldn't see it on the surface. Nature is never surprised in undress. It was always there. And the roots are now so deep that this thing that is becoming, that you are part of, that you are helping to grow, that you are nurturing, that you are caring for, that you're attending, that you're giving to, is now bursting forth. It's bursting forth and it's growing in ways that none of us can completely imagine, which of course is the beauty of how nature works. This coming Wednesday, you'll hear from me with a wonderful person who we call the Apple Whisperer. And he taught me so much about seeds and actually how things grow and how people are like apples. And I thought that you just planted an apple seed and then you got the apple that was like the one you ate. And he taught us that apple seeds are like human beings. And you will be amazed to know that they're unique like each of us individuals. Each of us individuals is our own unique seed. And we are part of this amazing orchard that we call SoulCall. And everything that you're bringing, everything that you're committing to, every way that you're connecting with us, all of that is part of the nourishment of the soil of this beautiful thing that we're creating together. And it's our spring now. And we will have tomorrow a summer and a fall and another winter. But in the present moment, everything is right where we are. And it's all here for you and for me. And I am so deeply grateful to be part of this process with you, to share with you, to grow with you, and to blossom with you. See you tomorrow. Thank you.
Oh my God. See you tomorrow. Yeah, make sure you come through Columbus on your way back. Reverend Christie, thank you so much for your beautiful wisdom, for your light, for all that you share. The wisdom, if you're part of the Soul Squad, you've had the opportunity to experience Reverend Christie and Natalia Zukerman and our beautiful Soul Squad and our prayer teams, and how we work in such loving participation, just like nature. There's room for all of it and for everybody's great ideas, and we're just bursting with it right now. Reverend Christie is a huge part of that, a person who's been near and dear to our heart for many years. So it's just amazing. And yes, we'll see you tomorrow. And I was thinking also, I'm not sure about you, but I love watching the Final Four, the March Madness, the women's basketball, the men's basketball. I don't profess to be a basketball fan for the whole season, but come March, like just after, the Girl Scout cookies are starting to come to an end. You know that about me too. A couple Girl Scout cookies with coffee in the morning. I'm good to go. Coming into March Madness, I love the spirit with which these college players play that game. And it's like this resurrection of remembrance is what it reminds me of, is just the spiritedness with which they engage in the game. It's the game of life. And this past weekend, without exception, what an incredible weekend of sports, watching the women. Okay, so this is the thing. The resurrection of remembrance, meaning just as Reverend Christie was talking about, it is inherent within our nature. We have that seed of this indomitable spirit right inside of us. It's that soul spark. And if you were watching last night, first it started Friday, watching the women's games. There's a young woman, incredibly talented from the team Arizona, Ari McDonald. Holy smoke. She just came out of nowhere, but she's been there all the time. It's not out of nowhere. It's just all of a sudden we're noticing how exceptional this young woman plays and her team. So Arizona makes their first appearance in the Final Four ever, and they're going up against UConn, University of Connecticut, with Gino Auriemma, and they've got the AP Player of the Year on their team, on the UConn team. And as it turns out, when they're putting the highlight reel together, ESPN, I suppose, did this, totally forgot to put any of the Arizona team's highlights in the reel. They were not even noticed, but the other three teams were. So South Carolina, Stanford, and UConn. So how appropriate it is that sometimes it seems as though things are growing in the yard or growing in our consciousness unnoticed. Nobody else notices how brilliant this thing is until one day they do. And on this, the stage was set. Arizona upsets UConn, who's got one of the most impressive records in the history of women's basketball. It's pretty impressive. And so now Arizona's in the championship game against the most winningest coach in NCAA history, Tara Vanderveer, and Stanford Cardinals. So that game is today, but it's so exciting. And my favorite quote from R.A. McDonald is saying, "The world is finally noticing what I can do." How about you? Calling forth that spark, that seed from inside of you, so that the world is finally noticing what you can do, that spirit. And last night, the men's game. Okay, so I've been a fan of the team Gonzaga just because I like the way it sounded. So when people would give me the brackets to fill out, some people say NCAA sports is a racket. I say it's all about the bracket. You got to get your brackets right. And I always picked Gonzaga to win at least the first two games if they made the tournament. This is 20-some years ago when I really started to get more into it. And just because I like the name, and they always played with such heart. They upset some of the best teams. And I love that kind of stuff because they had nothing to lose. They had everything to win, which there was the resurrection of remembrance. They knew what they were capable of. And they just came out and played with heart, with courage, right? So last night, they're playing UCLA. And this is one of these classic at the buzzer moments. Even if you don't love sports, it would be really hard to not get that resurrection of remembrance ignited by watching what Suggs does at the end of the game. Okay, so the score is they're down by 2. UCLA is down by 2. UCLA, there's maybe 15 seconds, dribbles down. The player puts a layup up, misses it, but then he banks it in for 2. Now the score's tied 90-90 with 3.3 seconds left in the game. This is one of these things. If you ever lived next door to a young kid who played basketball, you could hear her going 3, 2, 1, oh, and the crowd goes wild, right? You can envision this. Or if you're next to a playground where young people are playing basketball, old people playing basketball, you still have that 3, 2, 1 inside of us, right? This is the classic thing. So I asked Natalia this morning, who's a wizard, to roll this film. So 3.3 seconds left. Suggs from Gonzaga. They're down. Now it's tied at the 3.3 seconds left in overtime. I'm still getting excited. I'm on the edge of my seat telling you the story. Dribbles down just beyond half court, puts up at the buzzer, 1.8 seconds, puts up the ball at the buzzer. He's a 40-foot bank shot. Boom, 3 points. The score is 93-90. Gonzaga wins. They're going to be playing in the title game on Monday night. The place goes crazy. It's one of those epic resurrection of remembrance. What I loved about what Suggs did was he didn't just dribble around in a circle and think, should I put it up? Should I? That thing, that unquenchable exuberance, that soul force, just, bam, he put it up with confidence, knowing that it was time to shine and to do the thing that we always knew he could do. He always knew he could do. He'd been practicing doing that discipline, just like we're talking about Qigong at the beginning. It's not knowing how to do it. It's practicing it every single day so that our soul cells remember what we're capable of. So here's this shot at the buzzer, and get ignited with what you can do. Let the resurrection of your remembrance get just jazzed in this. Natalia, do we have it?
Going over and a well-deserved as we look at this replay. A little kiss that'll be remembered. Hey, Raph, okay.
I mean, can you stand it? If you get a chance to go check out the clip from UCLA scoring their 2 points, like the last 13 seconds of that game, that's all you need to see. Thank you, Natalia. That resurrection of remembrance, that soul force. And finally, the point is not what is around you. You're not going to find it in the finest shops in Paris or Rodeo Drive or Milan. You're not going to find that soul there. You'll find the expression of the soul, the beauty in the things that people bring forth for us to enjoy as humans. right? It's part of the experience, but it's the bringing it forth, just like SoulCall birthing itself onto the planet 1 year ago. The vision was there. The vision was there. The cultivation of the consciousness was there. Tilling the soil of the soul was there. Heart stop hunting. Step into this net. It's not a conquest, but it is an eternal quest, as Yogananda would say. It's our eternal opportunity to daily practice those things that resurrect the remembrance of spring in our soul. And whomever you are a brilliant blossom of this consciousness. And we welcome you to participate with us and bring forth your joy. I'm going to bring Natalia in to the room and Reverend Christie back. Zukerman, thank you for being such a bright light. And
I did it wrong. There we go. Okay.
you didn't do it wrong. I was like, oh, you want to say a few words?
It's just gonna be me now. So.
Yeah, thank you. Now, for the next 40 minutes, I'd like to tell you a little bit about when I was 8.
I'm very sporty, so I got the wrong part of the clip.
No,
Very
that was perfect. That was it.
Sure, yeah, basketball. That's the one with the
Yeah. Yeah. So it's like, what is it that you want? I'm asking the people who are watching us now too. Is like, what is it that just wants to put itself up at the buzzer and win? Winning that consciousness. That what is your soul's calling? Your soul's expression. That thing that helps you come alive. Natalia, you've got so many. You bring so much to this. I'm so grateful that we are all partners in this together. It's just such a beautiful confluence of sensibilities and approaches and wisdom and calm.
Mm-hmm. Natalia takes the shot a lot. She takes the shot in art creation. She takes the shot in painting. She takes the shot in music. She takes the shot in just her one-woman show. I mean, think about all of the things that you do. And, as you said, Lisa, we don't all have to be necessarily athletes, but we are athletes in our own life in terms of just going for it. And sometimes we hit it, sometimes we don't, but it's going for it. It's like following that urge that when you have the terrible butterflies and the feeling like, should I really do this? And doing it anyway. I love that.
I was thinking about the tree this morning. I was talking about the everything was bursting forth, and all of a sudden it was there came a killing frost. Everybody got crunchy, and our magnolia tree is just kind of shriveled. And I went out and talked to it yesterday a little bit and just said, I know there will be more blossoms coming, and there will be more blossoms. I don't know why that happened, but I love you anyway. I wanted to feed it lasagna, but I don't think it eats lasagna, like, what can I do for you? But when things don't go so well, it's good to be in a group, in a community like SoulCall, because what we offer each other is that unconditional love that the soul has waiting for us all the time. That's why that song makes me cry. So in community like SoulCall, we get to be the expression we want to be by following the guidance of our own soul. There's no hierarchy. There's no one way of doing it. It's all these ways of doing it. But what we have in common is this unconditional love and support that we draw from source for each other. It doesn't have to look just like we live.
Absolutely beautiful.
Yeah. So Natalia has put together, do you want to say something? You're so quiet.
It's just so beautiful to be a part of this. And, a year ago to know Lisa and I think I was in the middle of doing a big project, and we had maybe not spoken for like 4 days or something. And suddenly it was, oh, by the way, I'm launching this thing. Here we go. And stand back. It's just been, there's my puppy celebrating too. Yeah, just incredible to watch what's happening. We're so excited about what's coming up, and all of you who are here with us, visioning it and watching it unfold. Just so much gratitude. So yeah, I got to make a bit of a highlight reel. I'm missing quite a lot because holy smokes, we've done a lot in a year. But here, we've only just begun.
Enjoy. operating from that sacred center.
One people, one planet, one love.
Yes.
Richard Rohr, who's written a wonderful book called What the Mystics Know, The 7 Pathways to Your Own Deeper Self. And basically,
If you ever lose your way, leaving means to stay between the rivers and the edge of the bay. Breathing out draws you deeper within. In the meantime, you'll begin to find your way. Everything one could ever know, holding on means letting go. Never lonely, ever alone. Filled with the emptiness of silent perfume. With the fragrance of the moon. In the meantime, I will move through you. In the meantime, I will be the stillness. The stillness.
Yay! Thank you, Natalia Zukerman. And of course, there's more, and we're going to be inviting Kathy Rausch, the web person. She didn't want to be called a webmaster, our web goddess. The Soul Squad's going to be joining us next week. We're going to be bringing people in who are behind the scenes, in front of the scenes, so you can meet some of the community. All this month, we're going to be inviting people in. We've got some friends joining us from South Africa in a couple of weeks, and some people from the UK and other places. One of the cool things is we are seen now, and we've got people participating with us in over 41 countries, which is astounding. And we've got Soul Squad pods here in Columbus, Ohio, in California, and we've got one just starting in Boulder, Colorado. So if you want to get involved in Colorado or California, drop us a line, contact on the contact page on soulcallglobal.org. Thank you so much for being with us, Reverend Christie and Natalia, for jumping in, and thank you for the videos this morning. Thank you for your commitment to resurrecting the remembrance of that soul spark, that shot at the buzzer consciousness, the thing that knows it can do it. We encourage you to be yourself, be your soul's calling, taking it into the world every single day. We're going to be exploring that theme all throughout the month of April, and then throughout the year with more classes. And a meditation practice is going to start in May, Mondays in May. So we thank you for your donations. They help us to keep Soul Call going and doing this beautiful work we're doing in the world. Our Soul Squad is active, helping people pay water bills in surrounding communities. And we've got another food drive coming up. But it also helps us to compensate some of the people we are able to bring on, pays for our website. It's going to pay for our space. We're looking for space to meet in person here in Columbus and live stream from there so that we can gather as a community. Your donations make all of this possible and help us to awaken and to resurrect the remembrance of the consciousness of that exuberance of life in others. in others just for the sake of doing it. So donate, soulcallglobal.org/donate. Thank you so much for your tithes. No amount is too big or too small. I want to thank those of you who have us on a regular payment program, several dollars a month. It helps us to budget and know how much we can allocate to these drives that we're doing and to help us to grow the programs, the programming, and the classes. So thank you. And we also want you to know we are here to pray with you, for you, offering up in consciousness the light of remembrance for anyone who is in need of healing of body, mind, or spirit. Drop us a line, prayers@soulcallglobal.org. We invite you to sign up for our newsletter. There's the newsletter sign-up page, soulcallglobal.org. Please do that. And if you're receiving the newsletter, please share the newsletter with a friend or two whom you feel might be like-minded, like-hearted, and want to participate in some of the initiatives we're going to pursue. I want to invite every one of you and anyone else you would like to invite for a very special first annual meeting of SoulCall Global. It's going to be Sunday, April 18th, and it's going to be at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Time. So in place of the SoulCall Rewind that day, Sunday, April 18th is going to be our first annual event. So you are invited, and we'll share the inner workings. We'll take you down into the boiler rooms, show you where the generators are and what's at the heart of what it is we're doing and how we're growing it out into the world with your input. So thank you for making time to be there with that. Today, however, is a special Happy Easter SoulCall Sunday Rewind, 11 o'clock. You can find that link on our website, right on the homepage of soulcallglobal.org. More, like I said, meditation classes coming up. Circulate the stimulus. I want to thank you for those of you who have sent us chunks of money to help us to offer food, clothing, and help to supplement shelter for different people in our areas in Livermore and here in Columbus, Ohio. And if you have somebody you know of who's doing an extraordinary job out there in the community, awakening the consciousness with their particular way of showing up as soul, drop us a line on the contact page at soulcallglobal.org, and we're going to give them a shout out in the newsletter. The Soul Call shout out is where we recognize extraordinary, like ordinary human beings doing extraordinary things. Soul Call shout out. As always, I feel like there's something else. Yes, or Natalia, will you please jump back on and tell us about our Soul Call Cinema Presents? This is exciting. You still there? Hello?
Hang on.
Pay no attention.
Pay no attention to the woman behind the
screen.
Yes, for the month of April, there's an amazing series, 6 short videos on this website called drawdown.org, based on the book of the same title. It's now a movement, so it's Climate Solutions 101 in 6 easy installments. Watch them at your leisure, and on April 26th, we'll get together on Zoom. You have to register for that link as well on our website. It's on the soulcallglobal.org/evolve, and there's workshops and classes and events. It's an event. It'll be a great event, and we'll get together and talk about takeaways from the 6 videos and share also our own personal approaches to saving this beautiful planet that we love. So happy Earth
Excellent.
Day, April. See ya.
Thank you. So thank you again for joining us. This whole month is going to be, every month is fun, but this is going to be a very exciting anniversary month for us here at Soul Call. Saturday, April 24th, it's the return of the Soul Stone painting in the park. We're going to be at Whetstone Park between 9 a.m. and 2 p.m. painting soul stones of positivity, which you may take home and place in your own garden or share them in the neighborhoods or the paths you walk, placing them down just so people find beauty. But join us. It's going to be so much fun. Soul stone painting in the park, Saturday, April 24th from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. And at the same time, we're going to be handing out seeds, heirloom seeds, clean seeds is what we call them, sowing the seeds of love as part of our celebration, giving back to the community in symbolic of nourishing and encouraging the growth of new life, new opportunities, resurrecting that remembrance of who you are. So until then, we'll see you in the rewind if you're going to join us. Remember this Wisdom Wednesday, and then a very special Soul Sessions anniversary with Gary Lynn Floyd, Natalia Zukerman, Reverend Christie Hardwick is going to be Wednesday, April 14th, 7 p.m. Eastern. You can register for the link on our website under Evolve. You'll see the link there. Get the link and join us in the Zoom room for a live Soul Sessions, music, poetry, meditation as a celebration of our first anniversary, something that we love to do, Soul Sessions. So thank you once again for joining us. Happy Easter. Happy resurrection of spring. Happy spring forth of your soul. And no matter where you are or what you're experiencing in your evolution at this moment, you are loved. Peace and blessings.
One family, one people, one planet, one love, one